Ooh, a hat. A 4-leaf clover. That reminds me of an amazing story. Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Are you curious of what I'm talking about? Well, let me introduce myself first. My name is Tira Atiriek. I'm 13 years old and I'm a student from Suvarnabhumi School, the Wat Phnom campus. And back to the question. Oh yes, today I'm going to be talking about a story with the title of Colleen and the Leprechauns. Now in this story, you might be wondering, what is it about? What can I learn from it? Well, in this story, it is about a girl named Colleen who's going to visit her grandparents in Ireland. They told her about a story of a leprechaun, but with a twist. In this moral, it also taught me about something of the lines of always keep important things in mind, and it also taught me always know that simple solution can be encountered. Now, in this story, if you want to know more about it, then let's dive in. Now, Colleen was excited. She was going to Ireland to visit her grandparents with her parents. Arriving in Dublin airport, they were met by two strangers with hugs. It took them a few seconds to realize, wait, they're the grandparents. Now, as they drove by their countryside, then when the grandpa said to Colleen, looking at the window, in mysterious tone, "Watch out for the little people." Little people? Who are the little people? They're fairies, says Grandma, driving the car. They are very small people. Back in Celtic times in Ireland and in Scotland, we have many legends and stories to talk about. Yes, said Grandpa, we have many of them. A leprechaun is one kind. Oh, leprechaun? What is that? Asked Colleen. A leprechaun are tiny, old, small, stingy, unfriendly, and they spend most of their time making shoes. And they're also, the good thing about them is that they have pots of gold that makes you rich overnight. But they can also be tricksters. The thing is, learned by Jack Fox, he had been tricked by a leprechaun once. He was so close to the treasure. Oh, a leprechaun? Jack Fox. Can you tell me about the story of Jack Fox? Maybe both of them? Then Grandpa began to tell the story of Jack Fox and the Leprechaun. All right, hear me out, said Grandpa. In this story, there was Jack. He was a young man who found a very tiny man in the hedgerow. It was a leprechaun. He was minding his own business, making golden shoes. Then Jack decided to crap up to him. The leprechaun tried various ways to make him look away, but Jack wasn't easily fooled at all. He tried more tricks, but it didn't work. Then the Jack Fox told him and demanded him to get him to where his treasure is. The leprechaun had no choice and took Jack Fox to the dandelion field, to the treasure in a particular spot where he buried. Jack Fox then told him where it is. It's here. Then he decided to also get a shovel, but he needed to mark the spot, so he used one of his socks and put it onto the dandelion field. Then he went back home to get a shovel, but when he came back, there were socks everywhere on the dandelion field. You should have seen that coming. There were lots of socks on the dandelion field, and Jack Fox couldn't find the treasure anywhere in the field. Now, he took all the socks back home to his wife and told her everything. I guess you can say he doesn't need any more new socks for a while now. Now, at the end of the story, Colleen and her parents laugh. Imagine if there were a field full of socks, said Colleen. That was a hilarious story. Now, that was the end of the story that was told by them. I guess you can say Colleen and her parents, they will have a lot of fun in Ireland with their grandparents. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like my storytelling, it looks like the story has ended. But what can we learn from this story? As I mentioned earlier, I learned two lessons. There are two morals to the story. The first one is that simple solution can easily be encountered. The thing is, if you make up very solutions, for example, Jack Fox just put a sock on a dandelion. Now the leprechaun could have done various ways to just keep it away from his treasure, like removing the sock or misplace it in another place. If worse, he just cut off that area. Not to mention, the second moral of the story also supports to why Jack Fox wasn't able to get the treasure, and that is to always keep important things in mind. He should have known in the first place that the leprechauns are tricksters, but he forgot it about it last minute to get the shovel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I do have one question for you. What would you do if you were in Jack Fox's situation? Now, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like my storytelling has come to an end. I just want to say thank you so much for watching and have a nice day. Goodbye.
វគ្គសិក្សាថ្មីថ្នាក់ភាសាអង់គ្លេសទូទៅចូលរៀនថ្ងៃទី1ខែតុលាឆ្នាំ2021ការផ្ដល់ជូនពិសេសផ្ដល់ជូនអាហារូបករណ៍ 20% ទទួលបានឯកសណ្ឋានមួយឈុតឥតគិតថ្លៃសាលារៀនសុវណ្ណភូមិជាសាលាចំណេះទូទៅខ្មែរធំជាងគេនិងល្អជាងគេនៅកម្ពុជា